Good morning and welcome to the show, and thanks for waking up with us. Waking up with us this morning is Dr. Amy Pollock. Dr. Amy, if you don't mind me calling you Dr. Amy.
Sure.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. You are the director. Is that your title at FSU?
Yes, I am the director of the FSU Early Childhood Autism Program.
And you're also now the new president of FABA, which is the Florida Association for
Behavior Analysis. Yes.
So you have a PhD in psychology, and you know all about autism.
Yes.
And so you've worked with these children quite a bit. Just for the layman, if you've been living under a rock and you haven't heard of autism, what is autism?
Autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder, and it's characterized by delays in social interaction skills, delays in communication, engagement in some repetitive or restrictive behaviors, and for a better term, just quirkiness and different types of developmental delays.
And it's a whole spectrum too, because I have a son with autism, and you see kids who are very profound, and you see kids who are a little more high functioning. It doesn't really have much to do with intelligence, does it?
It absolutely doesn't, and that's a misconception that a lot of people have about the disorder. It is now referred to as autism spectrum disorder because there is a wide spectrum, and when you work with children and see children with autism, they say you've only seen one because it is such an individualized symptomatic disorder that all kids on the spectrum present the symptoms associated with it very differently.
Now at FSU, you've got this early childhood autism program. Tell us a little bit about that.
At FSU ECAP, it's ECAP for short, we're really proud of the things that we do there. It is a nonprofit charitable organization, and we serve about 30 families here in Bay County and the local areas, and we provide one-on-one behavior analysis services. And what that is one-on-one teaching. We take every child that comes through our doors, we provide individualized assessments, determine what their current skill levels are, and then use great strategies and reinforcement to teach them skills like eye gaze and play and
living
academic
skills and things that we all take for granted in our children, sometimes have to be taught to children with autism. Now, I know you have a great community partner with the Butchkus Foundation for Autism.
Yes.
And I know George and Carolyn have done some great work over the years. And I know they've donated quite a bit of money to ECAP over the years, haven't they?
They have, and that's why I'm here today. I'm really excited to be here to promote the Butchkus Foundation for Autism. And we have been partnered with them since 2001, and for the past 13 years, this foundation has donated over $400,000 to provide autism services for children in our program. So about a third of the kids that we serve are on what's known as a scholarship. Services are expensive. As a parent, you understand that.
Certainly.
And so they found such success with applied behavior analysis with their daughter, Camille, and George wanted to bring this to Bay County. Services back when Camille was first diagnosed were really hard to find. He had to go all the way to California to get help.
And now we have the Center
here
for Autism that's at FSU.
Yes.
And actually it's a magnet. They got people coming here now for that type of therapy. We have to run off to the local weather, but on the other side of that, I want to talk more about the Butchkus Foundation and their barbecue bash and auction that's coming up very soon.
All right, excellent.
We'll be right back after your local weather, brought to you by the West Pittman Law Firm. westpittmanlawfirm.com. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Dr. Amy Pollock from ECAP, or the Early Childhood Autism Program at Florida State University here in Panama City. And she's here today to talk about the George Butchkus Foundation for Autism and this Defeating Autism barbecue bash auction that they're having at Angelo's Steak Pit.
It is right around the corner, and this foundation is by far the greatest supporter of autism in our local community. And the event is October 12th. It is from 6 to 9. Local community people can buy tickets at the door. There are sponsors that have already bought out tables, and it's such a fun event. It's by far my favorite of the year. And what it is going for is all donations and proceeds raised at this event go locally. They stay local.
Yeah.
George and the Butchkus family are very dedicated to improving the autism services here in Bay County. So rest assured, if people donate, it stays here locally.
And they're providing answers, and they're providing funds that quite frankly, our government isn't, or maybe your insurance company isn't. I know in the early days, and we've been involved with this charity for quite a few years, off and on, since they started with George and Carolyn. And early on, our son's autism therapies were not covered by our insurance.
That's correct.
And we had fantastic insurance. I was in the military, I had TRICARE. The Butchkus Foundation stepped in and they said, we'll pay for his therapies, until we appealed with our insurance company, and they picked up the slack. People fall through the cracks of insurance, and the Butchkus Foundation was there for us, and I know they're there for a lot of other people now too. Now we're all set now, and there's been some regulatory changes in insurance and all that stuff, so we're set with that. But there are people out there that don't enjoy good insurance like we do, that have children that need this type of help. And where do they go? Who do they turn to?
Right, and they come to ECAP where the scholarship is set up, and this partnership is a win-win for Panama City. And the children that receive the scholarships, families that their insurance is giving them troubles reimbursing services. The reinsurance mandate came around in 2009 in Florida, and so it's meant for people that don't have the means to pay for these therapies, so that families don't have to take out second mortgages for these therapies, and we really want their kids with autism to get the help that they need here in Bay County.
The thing is, autism is so pervasive now, and the statistics are rather stunning. 1 in 80 or 1 in 88, I heard it was the latest. Everyone who sees the show is going to know someone with autism, maybe even in their own families. So how do we help?
You can log on to a website if you're not able to make the event. It's the GAB Foundation for Autism.org. There are ways to donate online. We're seeking donations for the silent auction, a part of the event, and you can call 850-234-2913 to make a donation and to call and provide some stuff to help us out.
Or show up at Angelo's Steak Pit when?
Yes. October 12th from 6 to 9. It includes a buffet dinner. We know Angelo's has great food, and it's great fun, and lots of things for kids to do there as well as adults.
Dr. Amy Pollack, thank you so much for everything you do for our kids with autism. And
thank you.
Make sure to get to that barbecue bash at Angelo's Steak Pit. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm David Lovett, and this is your Mad Hatter Minute. Today we're going to talk about fuel economy, gas mileage, how to get better gas mileage. And it's real simple, and a real simple thing that you can do at home. There's actually two main factors that go into your gas mileage. One is a clean air filter, and two is proper tire pressure. Your air filter is the first filter on your vehicle. Takes air, fuel, and fire to make your vehicle go. Air comes in through the intake. There's a filter to stop any type of dirt and debris and trash and bugs from getting inside your motor. That filter gets clogged, it gets dirty, and it can't breathe. And when the engine's struggling to breathe, it has to increase the gas ratio, which throws your your air to gas ratios off, and your vehicle doesn't want to run right, and you start losing gas pressure. Check your air filter every time you have your oil change. Have your oil changed every 3,000 miles, and just pop the hood and have your service technician check that air filter. If it's dirty, change it. The second thing that affects gas mileage most is your tire pressure. Look at your tire pressure. You can get a tire gauge, or you can stop at any service station, and they can test your tire pressure. Typically, tire pressure on a passenger vehicle runs roughly right around 35 pounds. If you really want to know the exact pressure, look at your tires. On the tire itself, it'll say max 35 psi. That's the maximum amount of pressure you want to have in your tires. And if you also want to know, you can look on your car, on the pillar, on the inside of the front door. It'll also give the tire pressure. That's the pressure you need to be running at. Running too low makes the tire flat, and it creates drag. So it takes more to start your vehicle running. And the harder it is to run, the more gas that you're going to burn. This has been David Lovett, and this has been your Mad Hatter Minute.
Welcome back to the show. I have Heather Noyes here from Raymond James Financial, and we're going to talk about the future of energy in this country today. What is going on? You hear about this energy revolution. What exactly is happening?
It's very exciting, and I think our economy is on the cusp of a very large growth spurt from the energy revolution. Our technology that we have in the energy sector now is decades beyond anybody else in the world.
And there are some new technologies, and we're revisiting some old oil fields and breathing new life into those with this shale oil technology where they're extracting new oil
Absolutely.
at old places.
I want to put up a slide for you too, and just to show in the pink areas, those are the areas that are shale formations. And the shale formations, the new technology of fracking enables us to extract oil from those that we hadn't been able to in the past. And you've probably heard some talks about the Williston Basin up there in the Dakotas, or the Bakkens, which is in the Williston Basin. This estimated to have about 400 billion barrels of oil in it alone.
I'm looking at these huge pink areas, and I could just see in the Northeast there's something tremendous going on there as well.
Absolutely.
And that's where the whole oil industry, like Standard Oil, started back in the day, back in Pennsylvania and places like that. And now we're going to be like are we going to surpass Saudi Arabia in oil production?
Oh, absolutely. And then even in Texas, in the Permian Basin, which is kind of one of the oldest, and thinking that it's all it's
played out.
It's not. In fact, they just found one that's called the Klein Formation, and it has about 30 billion barrels of oil. So that's 3 times larger than any oil field in the world.
So we will be energy independent certainly within 10 years.
10 years.
We'll become a major exporter of oil as well, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
What's that going to mean to our 401s and our IRAs, and what's that mean to us?
Well, there's lots of ways that you can actually, capitalize on this energy revolution through different individual stocks and companies. There's lots of mutual funds out there as well. But just to keep in the economy, going. So they're predicting that we're going to spend about $2 trillion in the next 10 years on infrastructure and exploration and production and refinement and transportation, because right now we don't have all the means to transport the oil. And we're again looking at $2.1 trillion rather, and millions of jobs.
Wow.
Millions of jobs.
Yay for North America.
Absolutely.
And yay for America. There we are. So it looks like we're ready to come roaring back here very shortly. Now, these lands that you've showed me, are these federal lands or private lands? Or
they're actually privately owned, and then these companies may lease them from them. For example, the Bakkens, that's actually named after the original owner. I forgot what his first name is, but his last name is Bakken. Anyway,
we'll call him Joe.
Yeah,
anyway,
Joe
Bakken. Good old Joe Bakken and his oil field. Yeah.
Right.
So, this is actually privately owned land or leased land that we can get. So it's not like the federal government can slow us down in getting to that.
Correct.
Yeah. I hate to put it in those terms, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. Right. That's amazing stuff. So now I think every smart fund manager is going to get in on this, right?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of money managers start to create their own mutual funds that are all capitalizing on the energy revolution, and some particularly are to pipelines, that move oil and gas from one area to the other. Some are can include that and ancillary businesses as well. Like I said, in that Williston Basin, they don't even have enough hotels. They don't have housing for all the employees that they need in that area right now. So people are leasing out parking lot spots and things to have a place to live so that they can work there, because they need the workers.
So a resource of this magnitude has second and third order effects that are going to just reverberate through our economy.
Absolutely.
If we just let it rip.
Yeah, and think about welding. Right now we've got
You're making pipelines.
200,000. They're going to have to put in about 200,000 pipelines, and they've got to replace about 65,000 of them that are old. They were put in with some kind of other steel prior to the 80s, and so those have got to be replaced. So 200,000 miles plus 65,000 miles of pipeline.
Wow, that is a lot. That's a lot of work to be had. It's a lot of money that's coming our way, and it's going to keep our nation very prosperous. Heather Noyes from Raymond James Financial, thanks for getting us smart on our energy future. Future looks bright. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I have here in the studio now John Shepard. He is a pretty interesting guy, but he's also the chairman of the Toys for Tots campaign, the United States Marine Corps Toys for Tots campaign here in Bay County. John, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks, Don. I appreciate it.
Thank you for your service. You are a Marine Corps veteran.
Absolutely.
And you're a local businessman as
Yes.
well. You're also a Naval Academy graduate.
I am.
Which kind of, we got a little connection there.
That's right. Your son is there now.
My son's there now, and he's talking about branch of Marine Corps when he graduates.
Yeah,
so
that's the best branch.
I know. That's what he tells me all the time.
And believe it or not, it's also the safest.
Well, you need to talk to his mother about that.
Better training, better safety.
I guess that would make a lot of sense. Unless you're like me, you're in the Air Force. But my son calls it the chair force, but I digress.
And as do I, yeah.
But we're here to talk about Toys for Tots. How did you get involved in this? And I know the Marine Corps has been doing this for quite a long time now.
Yeah, actually, it was conceived in 1947 by the United States Marine Corps. A challenge from a major in the Marine Corps' wife challenged him to collect some toys and give them out to special children in the Washington, D.C. area, I believe. Through time, Walt Disney actually designed our train logo. This logo right here was actually designed by Walt Disney himself, and it's been operating since 1947. Now, when I got out of the Marines in 2003, I came back, and it's just a way that I can maintain a little bit of a connection to the Marine Corps, because it's the only charity under the Department of Defense umbrella. I mean, it's unlike Combined Federal Campaign.
Right.
The Marine Corps Reserve.
It's its own separate entity.
Exactly. It is. I mean, it actually is a mission of the United States Marine Corps Reserve, and the Marine Corps Toys for Tots Foundation.
So it's no kidding in their mission set.
It's in their mission.
Now, for you, as a former Marine, I don't know if anybody's ever a former or prior Marine.
Well, former is actually the best known.
Former, you don't want to say, yeah.
Yeah, no ex-Marine.
No one's an ex-Marine.
Yeah.
You're once a Marine, always Marine.
Exactly.
You've stayed involved in Toys for Tots.
Yeah, I have been doing this since 2003. And, it came, I wanted a box basically in my business. And when I called to get one, the closest person I could find who had a campaign was in Destin, and they suggested that I collect the toys and give them to Destin. Which, I mean, those people over there, they get silver spoons in their mouths.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's an upper income area.
Sure, certainly.
So I called over to Tallahassee, which was the nearest reserve unit, and the gunnery sergeant over there, he said, look, I'm going to give you 25 boxes. Take care of the boxes, take care of the toys, get them out in the best way possible, and then next year I'll get you set up in your own campaign.
John, we have to run off to a break. I want to talk more about how you started this here in Bay County and how it's growing and how people can help on the other side of these messages. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I have Marine Corps veteran John Shepard here from Toys for Tots from Bay County. And John, you have actually started Toys for Tots here in Bay County, or at least you brought it to Bay County.
Yes.
And you are kind of the logistical guy for all of this. How can people help? What are you trying to do now to get this up and running?
The piece of information I want to get out there is go to our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Toys for Tots PC.
Toys for Tots PC on Facebook.
Yeah, go there. Watch for the updates. I need volunteers starting this week to make phone calls to all the members or the companies that had boxes last year, because we've got to get the information out that we're going to be handing the boxes out later this month. At the end of the month, when we hand the boxes out, the boxes will be in businesses, retail locations around Bay County. We usually have about 200 boxes out there. Look for the signs, look for the posters.
And you can drop off a gift there.
New and unwrapped gifts.
New unwrapped gifts in a Toys for Tots collection point in a box.
Exactly.
And then after all those are dropped off and those boxes are full, people will bring all that stuff to your business.
Well, yeah, since I'm the chairman, what I do is I collect them. I have a warehouse. It actually is
What's your business anyway?
I own Carpet One Floor and Home on 23rd Street.
Okay, Carpet One Floor and Home.
And I use the extra warehouse space that I have to lock the toys up and keep them secure. And then there will be an early morning in December, the week before Christmas. I'll have about 80 people that will come out. We'll pull all the toys out. We'll sort and distribute them to 9 different agencies here in Bay County.
And who are these agencies?
They're all people that are known, trusted, and loved in Bay County. Salvation Army, Anchorage Children's Home Society, Boys and Girls Club, Early Education and Care, and the list goes on. So they're all reputable agencies that we all know.
So Toys for Tots campaign here in Bay County, you're the chairman, you're the collection point, and you need a little bit of help. So for people to help, they have to go to Toys for Tots PC on Facebook.
That's right, because I'll put all the information out there. It's easier to go to Toys for Tots PC on Facebook. I need people to make phone calls. That's what I need. I need people right now, to go to my Facebook page and comment, send me a message on Facebook.
And any of you businesses out there that want to help out, do the same thing. Go to
Anybody.
that Facebook page. You'll make sure they get a box, so some kid in Bay County will have a great Christmas.
Exactly.
Because of the generosity, not only of you and the Marine Corps, but the local community as well. John Shepard, I applaud you for what you do in the Marine Corps, and thank you so much for the work that you do for our kids here in Bay County.
Thanks, Don.
And
I appreciate
you are certainly
it.
welcome back on the show anytime.
Thank you very much.
You've been watching Waking Up with Don. I'm awake now. We'll see you next time.